Now let's go over the circle, polygon, and arc tools. Go ahead and click on circle, and let's go ahead and click a center point for our circle. Here I've clicked and I could drag it out, or I can type in a radius. I'm just going to drag it a little bit and click. And now it will detect the center of that, and I could click again and I could offset another segment, either inside or outside. And now I can extrude this. And as you can see, it's a very segmented arch. Now I want it to be very smooth, so I can change the quantity of sides in this segmented circle. So let's type in 60, enter, and let's draw a circle again. There we can see this time it's a lot more smooth. And there I'm just matching the height here and clicking that. Now let's go to the Polygon tool. When I click this, by default, I believe it's set to 6 or 7. And let's go ahead and click once, and we can see that it's creating a polygon with 7 sides. Click on that. Now I'm going to click again. Now this time I want to change the amount of sides. Let's go to 9. Enter. And there you can see we've changed the amount of sides of this polygon. Now let's go to our 2-point arc command. Again, when we enter into this button, we see that there are sides already assigned to it, which, depending on how smooth we want our model to be and look, we can change the amount of sides that has to make our arc smoother. So let's go ahead and change this factor to, let's go to 60 again. And I'm going to click on these sides again. As you can see, the difference in smoothness there. All right, let's go ahead and get rid of that. Let's go over the Paint Bucket tool. Go ahead and click on Paint Bucket. Here in our dialog box, you can see that we are already in our default paint color. Now let's go ahead and click on the Sample Paint tool, and let's click on the Architect's Jacket. Here you can see the Architect's material is called Steve Jacket, and now it is the current material, and we can apply that to our model. Go ahead and click on a surface. Now over here in our dialog box, we can click on this arrow and we will get access to SketchUp's default material selection. Let's click on Brick and Cladding. Now let's click on Cladding, Siding, Tan. Let's click on our model again. We can also edit our materials by going to the Edit tab. Let's change the value of this material by changing 2'6" to 1 foot. Hit enter and you will see the value change in our material here. Let's also change the colors by moving our bars over here. Now let's add some more colors by going to Select, our pull down tab, and let's go to Colors. Select color 007. Let's click on our roof. Now in our pull down tab, if we go all the way up, it will show us the current materials in our model. So here are our current materials in our model right now. go ahead and spend some time getting to know the different categories of materials. Try applying some to your model and editing them as well. Now let's go over the move command. Before we can move an object, I must first have it selected. Since I'm already in the select command, I'm going to go ahead and select the architect. Now select the move command. Now we will select a point where we can begin to move our object. I'm going to click once and drag my mouse, and you can see that we can move him freely or we can move him along an axis. Let's go ahead and move him over here. Click once and we have moved our object. Now let's go ahead and create a copy by hitting Control once, and we toggle in and out of the copy command. As you can see down here, it says Control equals toggle copy. Now let's create a copy 6 feet along our red axis. I'm going to type 6 feet, enter. Now let's say I wanted to create 5 more copies 6 feet apart. So I'm going to type times 5, enter, and there it created 5 more copies 6 feet apart. Now let's go ahead and undo that. Now another thing I can do with the move command is select the object, drag it, and hit control once, and let's click somewhere out here. Now let's say I wanted to create 7 more copies evenly spaced in between these two objects or this architect that I have selected. So I'm going to hit divided by 7, enter, and there it created 7 more copies evenly spaced between these last two objects that I have selected. Now this command will only work right after we have moved something. If we did a command in between, it would no longer work. So let's go ahead and undo that. Now another thing we can do with our move command is we can stretch objects as well. So I'm going to go in, I'm in my select command, and I'm going to select these lines and surfaces at the end of this object. Now I'm going to hit the move command, and I'm going to pick a point. Doesn't matter where I picked, but I'm going to go ahead and pick right here, and I'm going to move my mouse, and you can see that I can stretch this object in along the red axis. Now let's go ahead and type 20 feet, enter, and there I've stretched these lines and surfaces 20 feet. Now another thing I can do is select a line and drag, and again I could stretch these surfaces, and now it gives me a couple different, I can move it in any direction. And I can also select a point and move a single point. So there is a brief run through of the move command.